Welcome to the Academy of Holy Angels, a faith community rooted in tradition. Our story begins in the 1600s, in a small town in central France. A Jesuit priest founded the Sisters of St. Joseph in 1650 in Le Puy, France. The 6 nuns were dedicated to spiritual and corporal works of mercy, and the community grew rapidly. The sisters didn't wear a habit, but they dressed like widows. This way, the nuns could serve their neighbors without distinction. They taught women how to make lace to support themselves, and founded many orphanages, schools, and hospitals. During the French Revolution, convents were disbanded and nuns were forced to live as laypeople. During the time, many sisters were thrown into jail or executed. However, after the French Revolution, the Bishop of Lyon asked Mother Superior to re-establish the Sisters of St. Joseph in his diocese. In 1836, the Bishop of St. Louis wrote and requested 6 Sisters of St. Joseph to relocate from Lyon, France to Carondelet, Missouri, to teach deaf and mute children. Fast forward 15 years to 1851, and the Bishop of St. Paul, Bishop Cretin, invited the Sisters of St. Joseph Carondelet to come up to St. Paul. So in October, 4 sisters boarded a steamboat and traveled up the Mississippi River. One of the sisters on board wrote, "To understand the position of our young community our first year, you must know that Minnesota was an Indian camping ground. The chief settlers were Indian traders. No farms had yet been planted, no public convenience. The only road or settlement below was the Mississippi River, which was then frozen, and wolves often attacked travelers." In these conditions, the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet opened and staffed more than 100 schools and hospitals, and established more than 50 social services and spirituality programs in Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Hawaii, and other states, as well as Japan, Peru, and Chile. This log cabin became the first site of St. Joseph Academy, a day and boarding school for girls, in early November of 1851. In 1853, with the outbreak of the cholera epidemic, the log cabin became the first site of the St. Joseph Hospital, which was Minnesota's first hospital. In 1877, Sister Agnes Veronica Williams opened Holy Angels Academy on the Feast of the Holy Angels. It was the first Minneapolis boarding school for elementary and high school girls. Tuition at Holy Angels was $2 a month. In those days, that was about 3 days' wages. Mother St. John Ireland was the first Mother Superior and Directress of Holy Angels. Her brother was the famous Archbishop John Ireland. In 1928, the sisters decided that the original building and location of Holy Angels Academy were no longer suitable for a school, so it closed its doors with the dream of building a new school. On September 15, 1931, during a record-breaking heat wave, the CSJs opened a new school, the Academy of Holy Angels. It took 400 carpenters, bricklayers, plumbers, electricians, painters, and common laborers to finish the building designed by St. Paul architect J.H. Wheeler. There were 107 students in grades 1 through 12. The resident students came from all over the area: Minnesota, the Dakotas, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Nebraska. Many girls boarded at the school, living on the 4th floor. Meals were always a formal affair in this dining room, which is now the Commons. The ladies used china and silver, and of course, impeccable manners to match. The first class of women graduated in 1932. They carried red roses on that day, which is a tradition that every woman who graduates from Holy Angels continues to this day. During the 1960s, enrollment at Holy Angels soared to nearly 800 girls. The Angies participated in intramural sports, and many of them performed on stage. On December 18, 1971, the school officially voted to allow boys to attend Holy Angels. The student council president said, "It is not really so important that a school should be for boys or for girls. It's the kind of school, the kind of educational program that is really important. I guess I don't like the word co-ed. Holy Angels is a school for people." That student council president's name was Kathy Blatz. and 26 years later, she became the first woman to serve as the Chief Justice of the Minnesota Supreme Court. In 1972, Holy Angels went from being the Angies to being the Co-Stars. Jerry Willenberg, class of 1974, became the first boy to graduate from the Academy of Holy Angels. In 1980, the Sisters of St. Joseph turned the governance of the school over to a lay board of directors, but still owned the school at this point. In 1995, Holy Angels changed its mascot from the Co-Stars to the Stars. The Academy of Holy Angels built the Stardome in 1996. 7 years later, in 2003, the Sisters of St. Joseph sold the Academy of Holy Angels to the school. The school dedicated the new addition, including the Convocation Center, gym, and new classrooms. We hope you have enjoyed this adaptation of the Academy of Holy Angels, A History by Steve Werle. If you would like more information, please consult his book.